Good evening. You're listening to Quiet Sleep Cat, a calm place for slow stories and gentle rest. You don't need to focus. Just relax and let the night carry you. The next evening arrives quietly in Moonlight Town. It does not arrive all at once. First, the sky softens. The last pale color of day fades into a deeper blue. Then the roofs grow darker. Then the windows begin to glow. Then the lanterns, one by one, remember their light. The night clerk stands at the doorway of the post office, one hand resting lightly on the wooden frame. The small bell above the door has already made its gentle sound. Now it is quiet again. From the post office steps, the clerk can see the familiar line of warm lanterns stretching along the stone street, all the way to the little bridge. Each light hangs where it always hangs, calm and patient, as if the evening has been repeating itself for 100 careful years. The clerk looks toward the corner near the bridge, where the missing lantern had been absent the night before. And there it is, returned, hanging once more from its simple hook. Its warm yellow light spills softly across the stone, reaching the edge of the bridge and touching the wooden rail with a quiet glow. Nothing about it appears damaged. Nothing about it seems hurriedly replaced. It simply hangs there, calm and ordinary, as though it never left at all. The clerk watches it for a while, not because there is danger, not because there is alarm, only because a lantern that disappears for one evening and returns the next makes the street feel slightly different, even if the difference is too soft to name. Breath in and out. The bakery window glows warmly down the road. The library lamp is faint, but visible at the end of a narrow lane. A curtain lifts somewhere above a tailor's shop, then settles again. The stream beneath the bridge carries the lantern reflections in long, trembling ribbons. Everything is gentle. Everything is where it belongs. And yet, now that the missing lantern has returned, the clerk begins to notice something else. Some of the lanterns along the street seem different tonight. Not missing, not broken, just touched. One glass shade looks newly polished, clearer than before. One lantern burns lower, its wick carefully trimmed. Another glows slightly warmer, as if fresh oil has been added. A fourth hangs at a slightly different height, just low enough to cast light over a nearby bench. The town has not only returned a lantern, the town has been tending its light. The clerk steps down onto the stone street and begins to walk slowly, not in search of a loud answer, but in quiet curiosity. Because in Moonlight Town, sometimes a mystery is not about what vanished. Sometimes it is about what has been gently moved, carefully adjusted, or quietly shared. A lantern can be borrowed. A lantern can be polished. A lantern can be carried across a garden path, then returned before midnight. And perhaps, if the clerk keeps walking slowly enough, the pattern of these small changes will begin to show itself. The lantern near the bridge continues to glow behind them, warm, steady, present again. And the night opens, one quiet step at a time. The clerk follows the familiar row of lanterns that line the main street, allowing each pool of light to lead softly into the next. The street is calm, but not empty. A town at night is never truly empty. It simply changes its way of being alive. By day, Moonlight Town carries baskets, voices, shop bells, receipts, loaves of bread, and children's footsteps. By night, it carries warm windows, a kettle cooling, a floorboard settling, a page turning, and the slow care of those who keep small things in order. The clerk reaches a lantern near the end of a narrow lane. Last night, this lantern had seemed ordinary. Tonight, it seems calmer somehow. The clerk steps closer. The metal frame is the same. The wooden bracket is the same. But the glass has been cleaned so carefully that the flame inside looks softer, less like a bright point, and more like a small, steady breath. The lantern's light falls across the lane in a gentle oval, just wide enough to touch a low bench beneath it. That bench, too, seems recently tended. Its surface has been wiped clean. A small folded cloth rests at one side, as though someone finished caring for it only a little while ago. The clerk places a hand lightly on the back of the bench. The wood is cool, but not cold. The air carries the faint scent of soap, as though the cloth beside it was used to clean both the bench and the lantern glass. Breath in and out. Who cleaned it? The clerk does not ask the question sharply. There is no need. The question can rest nearby, like the folded cloth, without demanding an answer right away. In Moonlight Town, lanterns are not only lights. They are small guardians of evening routines. Some hang near doorways, so keys can find locks. Some hang above benches, so tired people can sit and still feel safe. Some hang near signboards, so the names of small shops remain visible long after closing. And some, perhaps, shine simply because a corner of the street would feel lonelier without them. The clerk looks up and down the lane. A second lantern further ahead also seems newly tended. Its glass reflects less dust. Its frame catches the light more cleanly. Then a third, farther still, shows the same quiet care. This is not random, not loud, not urgent, but not random. The clerk leaves the bench and continues on. The folded cloth remains where it is, calm and unclaimed, like part of the town's own routine. The lantern above the bench burns softly behind them, and for a moment, the clerk imagines someone moving from light to light during the evening, cleaning glass, trimming wicks, straightening hooks, leaving the town a little gentler than before. If such a person exists, they have done their work quietly. Quietly enough that most people might never notice. But the clerk notices. Not because the differences are large, but because small things have always mattered here. The lane opens back onto the main street. The bridge waits ahead, its lantern reflected in the slow water below. And just beyond it, a second, fainter glow seems to rest where it did not rest the night before. The clerk turns toward it, following light that has shifted only a little, which in Moonlight Town is more than enough to follow. The bridge is one of the quietest places in town after dark. By day, people cross it without thinking, a basket in hand, a loaf under one arm, a library book held against the chest, a child skipping ahead. But at night, the bridge becomes slower. It remembers the sound of water. It remembers the lantern above it. It remembers how to be still. The clerk steps onto the wooden boards, which answer with a soft, steady creak. Not a complaint, only recognition. The returned lantern near the bridge casts a warm ring of light across the rail. Below, the stream carries gold and shadow together. Each reflection stretches, then breaks, then joins again, shaped by the current into long, trembling ribbons. The clerk leans lightly against the railing. There is no need to hurry to the other side. Sometimes a bridge is not only for crossing. Sometimes it is for pausing, for letting a thought drift a little farther away, for watching the town rearrange itself into quieter shapes. Breath in and out. The water smells faintly of stone and cool wood. A soft breeze touches the surface, just enough to tilt the reflections without breaking their calm. Above, one lantern remains perfectly still. A little farther away, another glow shifts behind a fence, then settles. The clerk notices that a lantern further down the road, one that normally hangs high beside a narrow signpost, now hangs a little lower, so its light touches not only the sign, but also the small patch of path beneath it. Perhaps someone wished to see the ground more clearly. Perhaps someone passing with small, careful steps needed that little extra light. Perhaps an elderly neighbor, perhaps a late gardener, perhaps the owner of a basket filled with herbs. The town does not explain itself quickly. It simply offers hints. A polished pane of glass, a lowered lantern, a borrowed light returned, a folded cloth left on a bench. The clerk remains on the bridge a little longer, letting each small clue settle beside the others. None of them form a complete answer yet, but together they suggest a pattern. Someone has been caring for the lanterns, not all at once, not for display, only gently, and only where a little more light was needed. On the far side of the bridge, a narrow path branches away from the road. It is easy to miss in daylight. At night, a faint, pale lantern near its entrance makes it easier to notice. The clerk straightens, steps away from the railing, and turns toward that path. The bridge lantern glows steadily behind them, as though approving the choice. And beneath the bridge, the reflections continue their slow work, carrying one warm shape into another, then onward into the dark. The path beyond the bridge feels different from the main street. The stone gives way to packed earth, soft beneath the feet. Low wooden fences line either side, not tall enough to hide the gardens behind them, only enough to mark a quiet edge. Here, lantern light does not arrive in broad pools. It arrives in small, careful pieces. A pale lantern hung beside a gate. A warm glow from a kitchen window. A faint square of light resting on a fence post. A single lit pathstone near a step. The clerk walks slowly, letting the path reveal itself in layers. A pot of mint near one door. A watering can turned upside down beside a wall. Bundles of twine hanging from a peg. A folded apron left on a narrow porch bench. Nothing here feels abandoned. Everything feels paused, as if the people who live along this path finished their last evening tasks only a short while ago, then stepped indoors, leaving the calm behind them to settle. Breath in and out. The small, pale lantern at the entrance to the path is not one of the town lanterns. Its frame is rounder, its color lighter, its glow less golden and more silvery, as though it prefers to imitate moonlight rather than compete with it. A little farther in, there are more lights. Not large ones, not the sort hung above streets or shop doors. These are smaller, lower, closer to the earth. They seem less concerned with illuminating a road and more interested in keeping company with plants. The clerk follows them. At each turn, a lantern appears just ahead, placed where it is needed most. Near a bed of herbs, beside a row of young stems, at the corner of a narrow plot where seedlings gather warmth. It becomes clear that this is not only a path. It is a path through several gardens. Small ones, carefully tended, stitched together by neighboring fences and by the quiet habit of sharing light. The clerk pauses beside a patch of rosemary. Its leaves hold the scent of the evening air, sharp and clean, but softened by the warmth of nearby lantern glass. Farther along there is thyme, then mint, then small rounded cabbages, then a row of tiny flowers still too young to bloom. Somewhere ahead, a bench waits beneath a cluster of little lanterns. On the bench rests a watering can, a folded cloth, and a shallow basket with a little soil still clinging to its edge. The basket looks familiar, not because the clerk has seen this exact basket before, but because it seems like the sort of thing a baker might carry if herbs were needed before dawn. The town's lights are not simply being moved. They are being shared, shifted a little here, lowered a little there, cleaned, trimmed, carried, and returned, so that these small gardens can hold warmth through the darker evenings. The clerk continues to the end of the path, where the little lanterns gather most closely, and there, spread quietly beneath them, is a garden of small lights. At the end of the path, the gardens open into one larger shared plot. It is not wide and not grand, but it feels gently important. Rows of herbs, flowers, leafy greens, and young stems rest in soft, dark soil, while tiny lanterns hang from slender wooden poles just above them. Each lantern is small enough to seem almost like a firefly that has chosen not to move. Some are pale and round, some are narrow and glass-sided. One has a little dent in its frame, but still glows warmly. Another is made from old paper and thin wood, its light muted, golden, and kind. Together, they create not brightness, but tenderness. No part of the garden is fully illuminated. Nothing is harsh. Instead, light gathers in careful places, near the soil, along the edges of leaves, at the feet of young plants, on the worn surface of the bench, on the curved handle of the watering can. The clerk stands quietly, feeling no need to speak. This place does not ask to be explained immediately. It only asks to be noticed slowly. Breath in and out. A folded cloth lies neatly beside the watering can. The same kind of cloth, it seems, as the one on the bench under the polished lantern earlier. There is a pattern here, not only of light, but of care. Someone moves through the town in the evening, cleaning, carrying, adjusting, then passing onward, leaving behind a softer street, a brighter corner, a warmer patch of soil. The clerk walks between the rows slowly. A small sign marks one bed of mint. Another sign names rosemary. Another, thyme. The writing is neat, but faint, as though the signs have been used for several seasons. At the far side of the plot, a cluster of thin poles supports climbing vines. Above them, a lantern has been hung low, so low that its warmth brushes the leaves. It is easy to understand why someone would borrow light for such a place. Not to make it brighter than the street, only to make it feel a little less alone. The bench near the center of the garden holds the basket the clerk noticed before. Inside are cut herbs tied in small bundles, ready for morning. Sage, parsley, mint, a little rosemary. The scents rise gently into the air, blending with damp soil and lantern warmth into something quiet, clean, and comforting. This, the clerk thinks, must be where the bakery's herbs are grown. Not in one person's private garden, but in a place shared softly among neighbors. helped along by extra lanterns when evenings darken early. The town has been moving its light so these plants may continue to grow. Not because the gardens demand it, but because someone, or perhaps several people, care enough to offer it. The clerk turns slowly, looking back toward the path. From here, the little lanterns lead all the way back to the bridge, not in a straight line, but in a sequence of small, warm decisions. This lantern cleaned. That lantern lowered. This one carried to a garden. That one returned. It is less like a mystery now, and more like a habit of kindness that no one thought to explain. Because in Moonlight Town, quiet kindness often goes unannounced. At the far edge of the garden, a gate creaks softly. Someone is approaching. The gentle voice that comes from the path is familiar. "Ah," the old man says softly, stepping into the glow of the small lanterns. "You found the shared garden." He carries a lantern of his own, its light joining the others without changing the calm. In one hand, he holds a small tin of oil. In the other, a clean cloth folded over his wrist. The clerk smiles gently. "Is this where the borrowed light goes?" the clerk asks. The old man nods. "Sometimes," he says. "Not always, but often enough." He walks slowly to one of the smallest lanterns, lifts the glass, trims the wick with practiced care, and sets the glass back in place. The flame steadies, then softens. Breath in and out. "This garden belongs to more than one house," he explains. "The neighbor behind the mint grows herbs for the bakery. The woman near the pale gate grows the little flowers. I tend the lantern flowers and some of the young greens. And the lane itself," he smiles faintly. "The lane looks after us all." The clerk listens, not interrupting. The old man's words move with the same pace as his hands. Nothing hurried, nothing left rough. "When evenings grow darker," he continues, "we shift a little more light this way. Not much, only enough." He dips the cloth into the oil tin, then gently wipes soot from a lantern frame. Some lanterns stay where they are. Some are lowered. Some are cleaned. Some are borrowed and returned before midnight. "It keeps the street beautiful," the clerk says softly. "It keeps the gardens alive," the old man replies. "Both matter." He glances toward the bridge. "And sometimes," he adds, "it helps those of us who miss someone feel less alone while waiting for the seasons to turn." The clerk understands what he means. The lantern flowers, the granddaughter away in another town, the habit of planting, lighting, and tending in her absence. The old man sets the oil tin on the bench. Then, after a pause, he says, "There is another person who tends the lanterns too. Not every night. Only when she finishes her work late." "The herb grower?" the clerk asks. The old man nods. She cleans the glass near the lane, so people carrying baskets can see their steps. She lowers the one by the bench so tired neighbors can sit without shadow. And she leaves cloths behind, then forgets to take them home. The folded cloth on the bench suddenly makes sense. So does the clean lantern glass. So does the careful pattern of changes. Not one mysterious keeper, several quiet ones. A shared trail of light. The clerk feels their shoulders soften. The town is not hiding a secret. It is simply practicing its usual gentleness in more places than most people notice. The old man and the clerk sit together for a while on the bench in the shared garden. Neither of them speaks right away. The little lanterns do enough speaking on their own. One glows above the mint, another above the flowers, another near the path where careful feet might pass. The old man folds the cloth more neatly beside him. The oil tin rests at his feet. The bench carries the warmth of the day only faintly now, but the lantern above it lends a softer kind of warmth. Breath in and out. When my granddaughter was small, the old man says after a while, she believed every lantern in town belonged to the same family. The clerk turns slightly, smiling. The same family? The old man nods. She said each lantern had a place to sleep, a place to wake, and a place it liked to visit when no one was watching. He chuckles softly. She thought the lantern near the bridge visited the gardens, and the lantern near the bakery visited the bench by the lane. The clerk looks up at the small lights around them. Perhaps, in a quiet enough town, that is not entirely untrue. The lanterns do seem to know where they are needed, not because they move by themselves, but because the people here move them with care. One cleaned before dusk, one lowered before evening, one borrowed for seedlings, one carried to a path where baskets of herbs come through at dawn. The old man continues, more softly now. She used to say the lanterns were teaching the town how to share light. The phrase settles gently between them. Share light. Not hoard it. Not display it. Only share it. The clerk lets the words remain there, not improving them, not answering too quickly. Sometimes the best sentences need no reply. A faint breeze moves through the shared garden. The smallest lantern shifts on its hook, casting a trembling oval of light over a row of leaves. A herb bundle on the bench releases a fresh scent. Mint, rosemary, something sweet and green. The old man stands, slowly, and checks one lantern, then another. He trims a wick. He wipes a pane of glass. He adjusts a hook by only a little, just enough to tilt the light toward a young plant. Watching him, the clerk understands that this is not a task done once. It is a rhythm, a quiet evening rhythm, carried by different hands on different nights, never announced, rarely explained, and always enough. The town's light is not missing. It is circulating, passing from one need to another, from one doorway to one path, from one bridge corner to one herb bed, and then home again. Breath in and out. The clerk rests both hands on the bench, feeling the smooth, worn wood beneath the fingers. The old man returns to sit once more. Neither of them speaks. The garden does not ask for talk. It asks only for slowness, for warmth, and for enough light to continue. Somewhere beyond the fences, a bakery shelf is being cleared for morning. Somewhere above the lane, a polished lantern continues burning more softly than before. Somewhere near the bridge, the borrowed lantern shines in its place again. The whole town is connected by these small acts, not with noise, but with light. And for a while, that is enough to sit beside. At last, the clerk rises from the bench and prepares to return to the post office. The old man lifts one hand in farewell. Not a large gesture, only a small one, soft enough to match the evening. The clerk walks back along the path behind the fences. The little lanterns remain where they are, keeping their quiet watch over mint, rosemary, flowers, and young leaves not yet ready for their full season. The pale lantern near the path entrance looks almost silver now, its light calmer than before. At the bridge, the returned lantern still glows warmly over the stones. Farther up the street, the cleaned lantern near the bench casts a clear, soft light. The folded cloth has vanished from where it rested earlier. Someone came back for it. Quietly, as expected. Breath in and out. The clerk crosses the bridge slowly, letting the water carry lantern reflections away beneath the boards. The bakery window is dimmer now. The library light has gone low. The town has begun to settle more deeply into night. Nothing dramatic has happened. No great secret has been uncovered. No danger has passed. And yet, the evening feels fuller than before. Because now the clerk knows the missing lantern was never truly lost, and the changed lanterns were never signs of disorder. They were signs of care. Care moved from place to place. Care cleaned the glass. Care lowered the hook. Care carried light to seedlings, then returned it before midnight. Care left cloths behind and remembered them later. Care made the town a little easier to walk through, a little warmer to sit in, a little kinder to grow within. The post office door appears ahead, its own lantern burning low and steady. The clerk opens it softly. The small bell speaks once. Then the room receives the night back in. Chapter 20. Inside the post office, the lamp on the counter glows low. Letters rest in their trays. Drawers are closed. The room is simple again. The clerk sits down, not to solve anything, not to write a report, only to let the evening settle fully. Breath in and out. Outside, Moonlight Town grows quieter with every passing minute. Lanterns glowing, stone streets resting, bridge rails cooling in the night air, water moving slowly below, a bakery shelf waiting for dawn, a library lamp dimmed at last, a shared garden breathing beneath little lights. Nothing has gone missing now. Nothing is unsettled. The town's light has only been doing what light does best when placed in gentle hands. It has been helping a gardener finish planting, helping herbs rest under evening warmth, helping tired neighbors see a bench more clearly, helping small paths feel less alone, helping the town remain itself, not through brightness, but through care. If you are still listening, that is fine. If you are drifting away, that is perfect. You do not need to carry every detail. You only need the feeling of it, that small lights can move quietly through a town, and wherever they go, they leave gentleness behind. Warm lantern light, quiet bridges, resting gardens, safe streets. Again, warm lantern light, quiet bridges, resting gardens, safe streets. The clerk lowers the lamp just a little. Not off, only softer. The town does the same. And you can rest now. Good night, and sleep well.